Yes,
been speaking to a number of managers today, Jurgen, and obviously we've been asking about the Newcastle takeover. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, and I suppose what kind of impact you think it might have on the competition as a whole long term.
Yeah, I actually was waiting for some official statements about it, like from Richard Masters or somebody else. So, because we all know there are obviously concerns about human rights issues. I think that's all clear, that we all think the same there. So, didn't happen in the first place, happening then. Still, that's the situation. What will it mean for football? That's few months ago, I think we had a massive issue. I would say the whole football world with 12 clubs or so trying to build a super league, and rightly so. Didn't happen, but this is kind of creating a super team, if you want. It's pretty much the same. Guaranteed spots in the Champions League, not in a few years' time, not immediately. All these kind of things. With all the how financial fair play is used nowadays, where nobody knows exactly is it still existing or not, stuff like this. So it's like it is. So everybody knows that. Newcastle fans will love it, of course. But for the rest of it just means there's a new superpower in Newcastle. I cannot avoid that. Money cannot buy everything, but can over time, that will take time, but over time they will have enough money to make a few wrong decisions, to make then the right decisions, and then they will be where they want to be. So that's how it is. I don't think that's to avoid in the long term, but that's the situation. Everybody knows that, and obviously the Premier League or Richard Masters thought, yeah, let's give it a go. I don't know it, but it's not the first time. It's just the third, as far as I know, the third club who's now owned by a country. So I'm not sure how many countries are still out there to have the financial power and the interest to do so, but this is how it is, and that's what everybody has to deal with.
One of the big talking points in football this week, which has been the takeover of Newcastle United. They're now potentially the richest club in world football. How do you think that will change the dynamic at the top of the Premier League? When you go back 25 years, there was that famous rivalry between Newcastle and Manchester United, and Sir Alex Ferguson and Kevin Keegan came out with those words, I will love it if we beat them. How do you think things will be affected moving forward with Newcastle?
No, of course, it's not been my focus, but I've noticed that it happened. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to go through, but now it has, and it is going to change the picture. I don't know the plans of the new owners, so of course I can't say here if they're going to spend loads of money or what they're going to do. But then again, it's a fantastic football club with traditions, and I enjoyed that spell when Newcastle were up there. Probably short term it's going to change them, but definitely long term it's going to be interesting to watch. And as you said, it has been the talk of football in the last few weeks, and if they can do that with the results, I think that's what they want in the end, of course. But as I said, it's not my focus. I don't want to join in that political discussion.
Just one final question from me, and obviously the big news during the international break here was the Newcastle takeover. What do you think that means for the Premier League, and do you have concerns about where the money is coming from?
In general, yes. And I think it's normal that people have concerns, but we trust in Premier League that they have accepted, and they are the authorities in this case. So why? And this is a fact now. They allowed it. They have new owners, and the new owners seem to be very promising for all fans and for a famous club here in England, a big club. And it seems that we have a new competitor for titles and for places in the top ranking, and this is what we're up for. We play in the toughest league and seems to get tougher.
Dave, obviously there's been a club statement out in the last hour confirming that you'll be in charge on Sunday for your 1,000th game. After everything that's been said this week, how much of a relief is that to you?
Well, all week, the ability of having the experience that I've had over the last 20 odd years or whatever it is to just get about, do your job, do as best you possibly can until you hear different. And after a brief 10-minute conversation with the new owners, where we talked about the team and we talked about injuries and we talked about the training ground and we talked about, it was very, very informal. They just said carry on until, I'll carry on until I hear otherwise. And that's what I've done. So that's what we've been managed to do. I have to say the players have trained magnificently well, and we're all looking forward to Sunday now, and let's hope we can get a result.
You said that you met with Amanda and Merdad on Monday. Was it just fairly informal, or was there any discussions regarding your future at all?
There was no discussions on me whatsoever, and there's certain discussions what need to be private, but it was all about the team, injuries, how are we looking for the weekend, blah blah blah. It was very, very informal, and I have to say they were very, very good people, and it was good to see them, and good to see them around the training ground. Let's not forget here. It's a great thing what's happened for the club and the city, and if it takes this great club forward, then great.
Thank you, Adam. Alistair McGowan, BBC Sport.
Hi, Steve.
Alistair.
Can I just confirm, when did you learn that you were going to be in charge for Tottenham?
When was that confirmed? I was told last week to carry on as normal, last Monday. So until I heard anything different, and that's been the case. So no matter what you guys have been writing and saying, was to carry on, and I said no problem, I will carry on to the best of my ability.
Would you have we've obviously seen a statement today, would you have liked that reassurance to come sooner?
I don't think I needed an assurance. I've seen people who are very, very good people give me, sitting in front of me to carry on as business as usual. I don't need a statement. Who wouldn't want this job now going forward, the way it is, the way it looks in the future? Who wouldn't want the opportunity to manage Newcastle? Certainly I would, and I'm sure there's hundreds of who would want to do the same thing. It's exciting times ahead for the club, that's for sure.
And if you were given that opportunity and you did continue, do you have any reservations about the links to Saudi Arabia and everything that's involved with human rights and the like?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure people will look into that. That's for politicians and all the rest of it to decide on that. It's a great thing for the club of Newcastle, and for me, the city too. I've seen the transformation in Manchester, and what it's not just for the football club, but for the city too. And I hope for the area and for the people and the supporters that it's the exciting times ahead, and they've been given this opportunity.
Newcastle Spurs is always a big game, but they've just had a big takeover. Will the players be aware of this? The big atmosphere, 52,000 fans behind the team.
Yeah, all the atmospheres in the Premier League, especially, no matter who you play against, there's always the fans behind the team. But of course, after what happened in Newcastle, we expect the atmosphere that is going to support them. At the same time, we have to ignore and focus on our tasks, and it's up to us to quiet the fans.
There's been quite a lot of talk about the takeover, a lot of controversy around it. Do you have an opinion on it? And of course, if it goes well for Newcastle, there'll be another challenger to those European places. What's your thoughts on the takeover?
I have enough things to think about, honestly.
Okay.
Looks like the Newcastle fans, what I saw, they were happy. So it's a business like people took over a club, and the people where I saw Newcastle is happy. About that, I am far away from the reason why the decision was made.
It's a good news for Newcastle Football Club. I think it's a good news for Newcastle's fans, and it's good for the city of Newcastle, and we have to be happy for them, I will say it.
We have to earn the money before we can spend the money, and of course it's then anyhow difficult if you compete with big clubs who have also other financial resources anyhow, but we are also not jealous anyhow. We go our way, we go with our tools anyhow, and we try to make the best out of our ways.
Steve Bruce done an unbelievable job when I have to say that I think everybody was wanting him out. Yeah, and maybe Newcastle will be hoping to do much better than 13th in the future, and I'm sure they are. But you have to say with the work he had and what he had, the resources he had, he done a brilliant job at finishing 13th last year. So I don't think that should ever be forgotten.
For me, he's the manager of the club, and hopefully he's given that chance to go and continue to do that. But it's a club that's been taken over and built to have an awful lot of finances. It's how they use that now.
First, we need to see the money comes. You need to see the direction that the clubs want to go, and also they need to convince the players to come. So it's not about money; it's about everything around. But I'm not the right guy to talk about it. For sure, they have persons to understand and to create a pathway for the club for the next years.